Hey guys, welcome back to Cooking with Teacher Pat. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a 7-layer dip. Technically, some might say that I would have 8 layers, but I don't count green onion as a layer because for me it's just a garnish. So anyways, let's get started with our ingredients. Alright guys, so our first layer of our 7-layer dip is going to be refried beans. Now I just bought this from our local taqueria. Some Mexican supermarkets will also have a little taqueria in there, and you can just buy some there. I prefer this over a canned one, but if you can't get this, then a canned one would definitely work. Or if you want to make your own, go ahead by all means, but it takes a long process to make your own beans. So our next layer is, now usually I do ground beef, but since the whole shelter in place, my husband and I have been trying to eat a little bit healthier, so I decided to do tofu. But you would do a taco seasoning of seasoned ground beef. So today I'm using tofu, and then I'm going to use this taco seasoning. Okay, and then our next layer is guacamole. You can get store-bought, but I'm going to show you a really quick way to make a super simple one. So you just need avocado and lemon and some garlic salt. And then your next layer is going to be sour cream. Now you can just use regular sour cream. This is actually Mexican sour cream, or crema. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit richer than our normal sour cream that you would find at the American markets. But that works fine too. And then you want a layer of shredded cheese. I have here Monterey Jack cheese and Colby Jack. Cheddar would work equally as well, or those Mexican mixed flavored ones. And then your next layers are going to be diced tomatoes. I deseeded it. Sliced olives, and then like I said, layer 8 technically is green onions, but for me it's just a garnish. So the last thing would be a sprinkle of green onions. So as I mentioned earlier, I mentioned that I was going to be making my ground beef with tofu today, and the reason being is it's a good substitute for me if you're looking for a vegetarian version, and of course you can also take the meat out if you just don't want that at all. But if you season anything with taco mix, it's good. So what I did was I had a box of or container of firm tofu, any brand you like, and then what I did was I crumbled it up so it would represent almost like cheese curds, or like ground beef kind of looks like this, right? And then I try to drain as much water as I could, and then I want to further drain it, so I put it in some cheesecloth, and I'm going to show you tofu has a lot of water. If you want it to fry up nicely, then you definitely need to squeeze out the water. See, look at that. So I'm going to squeeze as much as I can. I don't need it to be completely dry, but this will help in the frying process when I'm going to saute it with the taco seasoning and everything. So I'll see you guys in just a minute. Alright, so now that our tofu is nice and drained, you can see it's very crumbly. I'm going to go ahead and start browning it in a little bit of olive oil. It does need a little bit of patience. I would try not to stir it up too often, but you don't want it to burn. So this took about roughly 6 to 7 minutes to get that nice brown color. Now what I'm doing now is just adding water and taco seasoning according to the packet or the container of taco seasoning that I have. Go by whatever packet that you get. Taco seasoning does have cornmeal in it, so that will thicken up into a sauce, which is why you need the water. So at first I only added half because I wasn't sure how salty it was going to be, but because tofu is very neutral, I actually ended up adding a little bit of salt to it as well, and a little bit more water because the water totally absorbed into there, and I didn't want my tofu to be dry. The next thing we're going to do is make our guacamole, and you can see this is a very ripe avocado, so I'm going to go ahead and cut all the brown parts because that's going to discolor your guacamole. This is also a large avocado. You're going to take the seed out, and look what I'm doing. I'm taking a fork and I'm just mashing it in there and scooping it out because this avocado is so ripe. You can definitely use a knife and cut it up and then mash it up with a fork or a spoon afterwards, but this is so much easier. It's kind of like saving yourself a step. Now what you're going to do is you're going to further mash it down with your fork or a spoon, and then you're going to add some lemon juice. Really just go by your taste. I would say that one large avocado would be about half of a lemon, and then maybe like half a teaspoon of garlic salt. Really go by taste. I tasted it and it wasn't sour enough, so I added more, and I also added more garlic salt, and then it was perfect. And that's it, a simple guacamole. Now let's start layering our 7-layer dip. So the first layer is those refried beans. Again, put however much you like. The refried beans is a thicker item, so if you're not a big fan of beans, you don't have to put that much, or you can even take it out completely. And now goes the ground tofu. And to be honest with you guys, this is my first time making it. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but fortunately it tasted really, really good. So if you're looking for a vegetarian option, please try this out. All right, so now goes our guacamole. Notice that I'm using a different spoon for every item. You don't have to do this, but I like my layers to look somewhat clean. I don't like it to look all mixed up and jumbled up. So the whole point is that you want to see every layer. This is why also I'm using a clear a dish, or you can also use a casserole pan. You want to see the individual layers along the side of the bowls, which you're going to see in just a minute. So now I'm putting in the sour cream. Again, you can just use American sour cream. I just happen to have the Mexican sour cream or crema in my refrigerator. If you've never tried crema before and you love sour cream, I would definitely recommend it. It's so much creamier and has a little bit of a saltiness to it. So now, of course, is your cheese. I love cheese, and my husband does too, so we added a little extra, but please go by your taste. And now goes all your other layers. So here goes olives, and then I'm going to be putting the tomato. That's going to be layer 7. And then remember how I was telling you, technically my 7-layer dip has 8 layers because I added the green onion, but really to me, green onion is more of a garnish and it's not really a layer. I mean, notice how many olives and tomatoes I put. I don't even put that much green onion on there. So that's it. That's our 7-layer dip. So colorful, so beautiful, full of fresh veggies. And then now you can see, if you turn it on the side, ta-da! Look at all those layers. It's so pretty. Now all we have to do is let it sit in the fridge and chill for at least an hour. Okay guys, so our 7-layer dip is ready. I actually made this last night. So it's been chilling in the fridge overnight, and it's nice and settled now, and you can tell it's like one big solid thing. I got my tortilla chips ready. Now, if you have a local Mexican grocery store, I would recommend getting the ones that they make in-house as opposed to getting regular tortilla chips. Somehow these homemade ones are way better, but of course, if you don't live near one, then a regular bag of tortilla chips would be just fine. So let's take a look at it. Da-da-da-da. Very nice. And then I'm going to scoop it out so then we can see, okay? Just going to do one big healthy scoop here. And ta-da! Look, you can see all the layers in there. Look how pretty that is. You can still see it. The whole reason to let it chill is because you want all the layers to kind of come back together and solidify. Because otherwise, if you scoop it out right away, things might start running around everywhere. So there's our dip. You can see everything in there. All right, so normally I would let my son try this, but unfortunately, he's actually allergic to a lot of the stuff in here. But that's okay, because mommy and daddy will help him eat it. So here we go in with our tortilla chip. This is why you need a nice sturdy chip, because it is quite heavy. Like, not heavy as in the ingredients, but they're thick. So you need something sturdy to hold it, see? Mmm. That tofu is really good in there. Honestly, that's a really good substitute for meat. The beans are nice and creamy. The sour cream is cool. Guacamole has a little bit of a tang to it. Of course, there's cheese on there. And I love olives and tomatoes. Mmm. Try it out, parents. If you don't want to cook and make everything like I did, just buy it from the store. It's so easy to make. This is really good to share with people in the future when we're able to have parties again. Definitely bring this for a party. Best thing to serve when you're getting together with friends and watching some kind of ball game. Football, basketball, baseball, doesn't matter. Crowd pleaser, everyone likes it. You can mix and match it to however you like. Make it vegetarian if you want. Or have different kind of ingredients like bell peppers, jalapenos, whatever you want. You can even use salsa instead of the diced tomatoes, okay? Enjoy! Bye!